looking at Bitcoin against the US dollar here. It's December 10, 2020. And I believe the last video we did was around this point here. We saw that it was going to be a red day. And this, of course, we know that that was our support line that we had set up here in previous videos. And we see that what ended up happening was it turned into a level of resistance. Actually, it was support, then it became resistance. Then we had this big dip a couple days ago, and what we saw was the base of this ended up being support for the next couple days here. This is the last part of the daily candle. Of course, it's the new daily candle will be forming at 4 o'clock Pacific time, as always. So we're looking at the end of this candle, which is an inside candle. It didn't break above the previous day, it didn't break below. So we're starting to see something here. So hopefully on an inside candle, what we'll have here is a break up to the upside. But we're going to see. So let's go ahead and look again, as we always do. We look at the month and see where we're at. Again, that was our support. So let's go ahead and let's move that down here and carry this out here so we can see, because that looks like it's going to be where it's hanging. It's been hanging there. And again, we're going to see this is a monthly, and we're almost halfway through the month, and it did break on the outside of the previous month, so it is an up candle. It is a break up to the upside, but the trend right now seems to be, if we look down at the week, is kind of heading south on us a little bit. After it hit that high, then we had a little retracement, and then probably had some profit takers, and then we had, of course, had some more profit taking here, and a lot of probably fear selling, as we say this in every video. And then what we had here is, after it based out here, it went back up, and we are now sitting on the support line. This is our support now. What we saw for 3 days in a row is this was support. This level here at 18.3, 14, somewhere in that ballpark, is our support level. And what you want to do is, what we'll talk about today is, when you're looking at candles and you're learning price action and you're seeing what's happening, you start seeing characteristics, okay? And what you want to do is, like, let's go down and break it down. Let's go into like the hourly, for example. And what we're going to do is we're going to consolidate candles, and this is what you need to be training your eyes and your mind to see when you're looking at a chart, especially on the lower time frames, like an hour, 15, 5 minutes, whatever. But look at what's happening, okay? So, for example, here at 11 o'clock, my time, what we saw was this nice bullish candle go up, and then we start seeing a little bit of tapering down for the next 4 candles. Consolidate these and see where we're sitting at, and how is it going to affect this bullish candle. Well, it didn't overtake it on the bottom, so it's not an engulfing to the downside. The bears did not wipe this out. So what we're seeing here is, if you were to draw this out, what it would look like was this little bit of green left with a wick. It would almost be like a doji. Kind of, there was some selling, or there was some buying, and then there was some selling. That's what this will look like. That'll give you an idea of what's really happening if you're trading on a lower time frame. Just don't look at each candle. Look at the consolidation. Consolidate these things and see what's happening. Like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 1 hour candles. What do we see? Let's do something like this here. Let me see if I can probably make it a little clearer. So this is the range that it was in, right? Follow me? Here's the top, here's the bottom of these 5 hours. What did it actually do? Well, let's take it out to the side, and let's go all the way back. So it basically wiped out everything here. Okay, so this was our trend, and it's going up. And then what do we have here? So we have a little, if you look at it, there would be a wick with the green candle, and then all of this would just be a wick from the downside. So what it would appear to be is this candle here, if you can picture this, and then the rest of this just being a long wick to the downside. So what it's going to look like is, what is really happening is it is not being bearish for the long haul. It is all this is being wiped out and cleaned out, because what we end up having, if we go like to the 4 hour or something, again, you're going to start seeing these tails, okay, like this, okay. This is what that was, a big tail, and it's going to look like a hammer candle. So we're going to see what's going to happen here. Don't panic. This is actually a good sign. This candle here shows us a good sign that it could break back up to the upside, because it tested the bottom and then it pushed back up. It went down and it came back up with only a tiny little bit of selling off towards the end of that day. What we saw today, again, I think was a lot of panic selling. But once we hit this area here and we had the people starting to buy back in, is pushing this back up to our support level. I think we have some people that are buying in more, that are building up. They sold up here, they waited, and they felt this was a good time to buy back in, so they're accumulating, and that's what you want to do. Accumulation of Bitcoin, it's completely different than accumulation of, let's say, like stock, because again, stock is based on dollar, and we want to get off the dollar, and we want to invest in something that's going to be resistant to any kind of manipulation by any government. Dollar is completely manipulated. We cannot say that it is not. It is completely manipulated. The stock market's manipulated. So you have to tread very carefully when you're in the stock market. And remember, having a plan of what your financial future is going to look like is needed in your head every day that you're trading. You need to look at trading at Bitcoin or investing as your future. This is not just, okay, I want to, earn another Bitcoin and then cash out 18,000 so I can go out and buy a car. No, this is long-term stuff here, because our future is so uncertain. We need to really, really think about ways to ensure our investment, ensure our money. And it's not going to be by buying paper money, by buying fiat currency, dollars, pounds, whatever your country's currency is manipulated, and it's weak, and it's going to get weaker. So that's why we're starting to see these days where Bitcoin and other cryptos are really doing good, is because the fiat currencies are getting weaker. What we also saw here was also the influence of the stock market. We had some really good days on the S&P, really good days up. The market's been up. So, of course, how does it affect the Bitcoin? Well, when the market's up, the Bitcoin goes down a little bit. Maybe people are selling off here and putting money back into the stock market. We don't know. We don't know exactly where every dollar is going, but we do know this. We know that Bitcoin is a solid investment. We know that Bitcoin is only going to go up. So we need to really look at this without emotion, without any fear, as this is our future, and it is going to go up. It has no other place to go. Yes, there's going to be dips. Yes, it's going to go down at times. There's going to be profit takers and fearful selling. We've seen that. We see it all the time. We see it every day. But what we're going to see is Bitcoin continually on this up. Can it go down? Yes, we can even go down to test 13.5. But the reality of it, the trend is heading up. Okay, and see how it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter here in this wedge? We're going to see what happens if this expands or broadens or it gets tighter. Either way, we should be going up. So no fear, don't worry about it. This is just healthy. What we want to do, again, is if we want to try to get as many solid people investing in Bitcoin and not selling off, because there's only a certain amount of Bitcoin out there. And if we can do that, then we can make it more desirable, and this price here of 18,298 will shoot up. The sellers that are in it for the quick buy and the quick get rich scheme, they're the ones that are selling when they're, just taking little profits, and that's fine, but they're really not doing Bitcoin a bit of good if they're not hanging on to it. So the more you hang on to it, the more people we have hanging on to it, the value is going to go through the roof. So again, trade it, that's fine, but remember, we're not doing this to get rich. We're accumulating Bitcoin. That should be your target, should be your goal. All right, so continue on, stay forward, stay focused, and look at the charts. Study charts. Again, consolidate your candles. See what the real picture is. This red candle here, did it wipe out that day? Yes, it did. So what did it do? It takes you back down to here. And then this is where your support level is, right? See that? We had a huge green day followed by a big red day. Basically, this washed itself. So where are we? We're back here. And what are we doing? We're just chopping up and down. We're just sitting on this support level. So look for this thing to bounce off of this support level we have. And we'll see what happens. And stay focused again. Train, learn, get knowledge, take your emotions out, and good trading out there. All right, thanks a lot, guys.